Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Terrence Woods? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I'll put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the disappearance, then offer my analysis. Terrence Shemmel Woods was born on October 24, 1991, and raised in Capitol Heights, Maryland. He had 3 siblings. Terrence studied TV and film at the University of Maryland and graduated in 2013. He moved to London and worked on a few television shows for the BBC and ITV. He moved back to Maryland in 2018. Terrence was offered a freelance production assistant job with a London-based production company called Raw TV, who produced a Discovery Channel documentary series titled Gold Rush: Dave Turin's Lost Mine. The job started on October 1, 2018, and was supposed to end during the second week of November. The shoot was at a place called Penman Mine. This is an abandoned gold mine in Idaho County, Idaho. It is located in the 2.2 million acre Nez Perce Clearwater National Forest in west central Idaho. This is a rugged, rural, and unforgiving area. The production crew, which comprised 12 people including Terrence, was using Elk City as the base of operation. This is about 50 minutes from Penman Mine. Now moving to the timeline of the disappearance. On September 30, 2018, Terrence's father dropped his son off at Reagan International Airport in Arlington, Virginia. 26-year-old Terrence initially traveled to Montana. He sent his father images through text messages and said that everything was fine. On Thursday, October 4, at 10:58 p.m., Terrence sent a text message that read, "Hey Dad, just got to the hotel in Idaho." On Friday, October 5, at 12:58 a.m., Terrence sent his father a video and a text message. It featured a river and a rocky canyon. It had a one-word caption, Idaho. At 3 a.m., Terrence called his father to tell him that he made it to Elk City. At 5:44 a.m., Terrence sent a text message to his father saying that he would be coming home on the 10th. Presumably he meant October 10. This meant Terrence was planning on coming home very early. Again, he was supposed to finish the job in mid-November. On the same day, Friday, October 5, the production crew filmed at Penman Mine. In addition to the production crew, there were 2 local women on site who provided transportation for the crew. At about 5:30 p.m., as the crew was wrapping up for the day, Terrence was speaking to one of the local women. He told her that he needed to relieve himself. At this point, Terrence made his way to a cliff, dropped his headset radio in the dirt, climbed down the cliff, and ran into the forest. A production manager named Simon Gee witnessed this unexpected behavior and yelled to the crew to take a vehicle to the main road. Presumably, Simon was telling them to do this so they could intercept Terrence. Simon and a few other crew members ran after Terrence, but they were not successful in catching him. When they returned to the site, their clothes were torn and had blood on them. Simon would later tell Terrence's father that Terrence was running faster than he had ever seen. The crew went to the first house where they could find a phone and notified the authorities. The police received the call at 6:41 p.m. A massive search effort was initiated the next morning, and it continued until October 11. No sign of Terrence was ever found. The local authorities believed that Terrence was not in the search area. Rather, he intentionally left the area after making it to a road. If Terrence had been injured or killed in the search area, he would have been found. The police indicated that the production crew had nothing to do with the disappearance of Terrence. There was no foul play at all in this case. The police considered the case of Terrence Woods to be open but not active. Terrence's family members have concerns about the investigation and the behavior of the production crew. They have implied that race could have been a factor. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. On the same day that Terrence ran off into the forest, October 5, 2018, a woman named Connie Johnson disappeared from Fog Mountain, Idaho. This is 56 miles to the north of Penman Mine, but it takes 3 hours to make the trip due to the low quality of the roads. Connie Johnson was never found. The police said that the cases of Terrence and Connie are not connected to each other in any way. This was just a coincidence. Item number 2. In Terrence's backpack, which he didn't take with him, he had a number of items including over-the-counter painkillers, cough drops, batteries, Sharpie pens, a phone charger, hand cream, a stun gun, and a 3-inch folding knife. Terrence did not have his phone or his tablet with him either. According to Terrence's father, the luggage that Terrence had with him contained clothing which was folded and clean. There were no dirty clothes in there. This makes it seem like Terrence never changed his clothing on the trip. There was a pair of muddy shoes in his luggage. One would think that where there are muddy shoes, there would be muddy socks and muddy pants. Item number 3. On the day Terrence disappeared, he told the production crew that he had to get home to be with his mother, who was unwell and needed surgery. In reality, his mother did not need surgery. Terrence lied to his coworkers. It appears as though Terrence may have been unhappy with his job. Maybe he wasn't getting along with some of the people on the production crew. There are various stories about his state of mind. Some people said that he was acting strange, weird, and had a panic attack on the morning of his disappearance. He was also described as quiet and distracted. At one point, Terrence allegedly tried to grab a drone that was in flight. He used his bare hands. I guess a drone that was being used by the production crew. The police had recorded an entry regarding the search for Terrence, which suggested that he was having emotional problems and had a mental breakdown. Terrence told friends that he did not want to go to the shoot in Idaho. This was out of the ordinary for Terrence. He usually looked forward to any type of work in the film industry. In his journal, Terrence mentioned how he was tired of traveling. The police said that the journal was full of indecipherable rants. Terrence's family and friends indicated that he did not have any mental health history. Item number 4. I think it is reasonable to believe that the production crew was telling the truth and they had nothing to do with the disappearance of Terrence. There's no reason that they would have conspired to harm Terrence, and the stories they supplied to the police were consistent. 3 people saw Terrence make his way over the cliff, and a few more people saw him run into the forest. Whatever happened in this case did not involve anybody but Terrence. Item number 5. Terrence's parents claim that the production manager, Simon, did not speak well of Terrence. Simon allegedly said that Terrence came highly recommended, but he was disappointed with his performance on the shoot. Terrence did not live up to Simon's standards. Simon asked him to do different things, but Terrence did not know what to do. At one point, Simon allegedly asked Terrence to get some fruit, but Terrence turned to Simon and said, "What kind of fruit?" The production company, Raw TV, denied that any of its team members indicated that Terrence was not living up to expectations or expressed disappointment in any way. Simon only mentioned that Terrence had been distracted to find out if that was the way he normally behaved, like he was trying to establish some type of baseline. I think it is reasonable to believe that Simon did not disparage Terrence. While it is certainly frustrating when production assistants do not have a complete command of fruit preferences, I can't believe that any production manager would mention that under the circumstances. As far as the theory that race was a factor in this case, there is no evidence, of which I am aware, indicating that race played any part. Moving to the next section, what do I think happened in this case? Let's take a look at the major theories about what happened to Terrence Woods. Theory number 1 is that Terrence was murdered. As I mentioned, there is no reason to believe that anyone harmed Terrence. Witness accounts were consistent, there was no motive to harm him, and there's no evidence of wrongdoing. Theory number 2, Terrence had a desire to bring an end to his own life. Therefore, he ran off into the woods and completed his plan somewhere where his body would never be found. This is a possibility, but it doesn't make sense that Terrence would have selected that particular moment to make his exit from the world. If someone runs off into the forest, they can expect to die a pretty terrible death, like they might die from dehydration, exposure, or injuries from a fall. Theory number 3, Terrence was lured away from the production site by unknown evil forces like Bigfoot or other magical creatures. One of the many problems with this theory is, why would Bigfoot be interested in kidnapping Terrence? Did he want to stop the production of this awful Gold Rush series? Maybe he did not realize that kidnapping a low-level team member was not going to derail the production. I can imagine Bigfoot standing in the woods and watching the production crew. He's shaking his head and saying, "This show is all about drama and the acting is horrible. I can't let this continue." Theory number 4, Terrence was suffering from mental health symptoms, which caused him to run off into the forest. He made it out of the search area and died somewhere hidden. Panic certainly would have been capable of driving Terrence into the forest. It is a powerful feeling which can be irresistible under certain circumstances. Another possibility is that Terrence could have been psychotic. Perhaps he had his first episode of psychosis from something like schizophrenia. Paranoia and delusional thinking could explain why he ran away and why he did not want to be found. There are a few factors supporting this theory. Terrence suddenly ran away from the shoot without being prepared for the harsh conditions of the forest. Reportedly, Terrence had a panic attack earlier that day. He was described as strange, weird, distracted, and quiet. He was clearly unhappy with being on that shoot. He lied to the crew about his mother needing surgery. He told one of the local women at the site that there was some type of tension in his family, like he was giving her his life story. Maybe recounting all of his pain led him to lose control. As far as the schizophrenia angle, people who develop schizophrenia often have prodromal symptoms before meeting the full criteria for the disorder. Terrence may have had a few of the symptoms, for example, not coping well with stress, irritability, anxiety, boredom, impulsivity, and bizarre, odd, strange, or unusual behavior. The indecipherable rants that the police referred to in Terrence's journal could have indicated disorganized thinking. As far as the factors contradicting this theory, Terrence did not have any mental health history that his family members knew of. Usually when a person has a panic attack, they experience symptoms of anxiety at least a few weeks in advance. Often it's months in advance. It is atypical for panic to come completely out of the blue. There are, of course, exceptions. Perhaps being out in the wilderness caused more stress than Terrence could handle. As far as the prodromal symptoms, even though Terrence may have had a few of the symptoms, he did not appear to have others, like a lack of insight, decreased functioning, vague depressive feelings, or a tendency to isolate. Theory number 5, Terrence impulsively ran away because he was upset with the production crew. He didn't want to be on the shoot anymore. It wasn't because of mental illness. It wasn't to cause harm to himself. It was simply to make a statement, like it was a temper tantrum designed to get attention. After running away, Terrence found himself in a bad situation in the forest. It was a lot harder to navigate out there than he had thought. He died from dehydration or exposure. This theory would explain the lack of mental health history and his deceptive behavior about his mother's health. Theory number 6, Terrence ran away on purpose and is still alive. He started a new life. Maybe he ran away without a specific plan and just made things up as he went along. He somehow survived without being detected. When considering all the evidence, how would I rank the major theories in this case from most likely to least likely? I think the most likely theory is number 4. Mental health factors motivated the decision to run away. I would then go with theory number 5. Terrence ran away impulsively to make a dramatic statement. Theory number 2, he wanted to bring an end to his own life. Theory number 6, he ran away to start a new life. Theory number 1, he was murdered. And finally, the least likely theory is number 3. Terrence is hanging out with Bigfoot in some type of alternate dimension or magical hiding place. Now moving to my final thoughts. The disappearance of Terrence Woods led to a lot of innocent people being blamed over one person's inexplicable behavior. People have pointed to various clues about the mystery that have turned out to be insignificant. This case demonstrates how, during an investigation, all that glitters is not gold. Those are my thoughts on the case of Terrence Woods. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comments section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.